Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and have you ever wanted to design your own fabric? Well, you can. Maybe it's a fabric that you have in mind that you want to do, or you just want to try your hand at designing. There's a website called Art Fabrics that lets you do exactly that, design your own fabrics. Now they have lots of fabrics that you can design from. We have lots of natural fibers and lots of synthetic fabrics that we can choose from. We can use photographs, we can use our own drawings, we could pretty much put anything into their computer program and make fabric. Once we have it designed, we can have it shipped to us. It's that simple. And the program's free to use. To design our own fabric, we can go to a website, which is artfabrics.com. Now, I would recommend over here in the corner, you are going to find an area to sign up. I would definitely sign up. It is free and you won't lose any of the work that you've done. That homepage is going to give you lots of information, and it will also tell you a little bit about their fabric. So we're going to be able to scroll on this just like we would any other website. Now I want to jump right in to start designing because it is a lot of fun and very addicting. So let's start designing. We're going to have three different things we can do. We can start with a blank slate, we can upload images, and we can choose a pattern that they have in their library. And we can mix and match these once we get inside. So let's start with a blank slate. You're going to notice that we have these squares. The squares are 8-inch squares, and we can tell that by this top piece here. This little square is going to be a repeat of this square and of this square and so on. So we can always change the size, but let's just start with a 8-inch square. When we go to the right-hand side, there's a shape button. We can go in and add shapes just by clicking. And we can move those shapes and play with those shapes. If we're not happy with those, just go in the top here and let's put them in the garbage. We can also go into images. Now when we click on images, we can upload an image from our computer. So it can be a photograph, it could be a hand-drawn picture, it could be anything that we want. The library is everything that we've already put into our library. And we have patterns here. So we can click on this, and they have all sorts of patterns that we can start with. So we can go into something timeless. If we want just black and white, we can choose that. And we've already started designing. Over here, on the left-hand side, we do have 4 colors that are in this design. We can change these colors. It's very simple to change any of the colors that we want. If we're not happy with that, we can close that and choose something else. So I'm going to go into my library because I already have some things in my library. So I click on that. I have 2 photographs, and these are just sceneries, and I have a drawing. So I'm going to click on that drawing, and it pops right into my screen. Now I'm going to want to take that drawing, and I can click and drag it, or I can do this little button to the left, and it's going to fit that image in for me. So there is the image into that 8-inch square. You can see that we have a repeat on all of these squares. We do have this white here. That white would actually be fabric that you would see in between these 8-inch squares. And you're going to be able to see that if you go right up to the right and see the preview. This preview button shows us a yard of fabric or a meter of fabric. So that's how my fabric is going to look. You can see where I would have this white. This would actually be white fabric. So that's not the look that I want to go for. So I can exit that and do it again. And I can just rotate and have some fun with this button. I have now rotated this. I don't see any white. Let's see what the fabric's going to look like. This is what 1 yard of fabric will look like. So I don't have any white fabric showing. The whole thing would print like this, 1 yard right after another. And if we're not happy with that, let's just close that down and start again. So this time, I'm going to start with something in my library, which I do have right here, a photograph that I took on vacation. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Once again, I have all of this white, so if I was to preview that fabric, I would have the stripes, and that would all be white fabric. So it's not what I'm looking for. So I can change it, twist it, have some fun, take a look at what the fabric's going to look like, and continue. But what I want to show you is one of the favorite things that I like to do. So I'm going to take and put that image right in the square. Over to the right-hand side, I have repeats. So I can click on that repeat, and it's going to repeat the blocks for me. And I can change those sizes and rotate them. If I don't like it, let's take that down and try a new repeat. We can get a mirror repeat, which means it's going to take this picture and it's going to give me a mirror image. So there we go. So if I look at this, that picture has been divided in 4. This one picture was flipped to this side, flipped down, and flipped back. And that gives a very interesting pattern. But my favorite thing to do is down right at the bottom where we have a kaleidoscope. So if I click on kaleidoscope, that's exactly what I get. Click on my kaleidoscope and I can use this little button here and twist it all over the place and come up with different designs. Do you like it darker, lighter? Do we want to see some blue sky or just the buildings? And if you want to see what this fabric is going to look like, we can see it in the background because each one of these tiles is a repeat, or we can go right up to the right-hand side and go to the preview. So there is my fabric. This was the photograph, but that kaleidoscope gave it a lot of different opportunities. I like this fabric, so I do want to save it. And I want to change it. I do not want to use a cotton. I want to use this and make clothing with it. So I'm going to go in and change the fabric to one of these fabrics. And in this case, I do want to do a peach skin jersey. I'm going to click on that. And you would have noticed that it quickly changed size because a stretch knit fabric is a different size than a quilting cotton or a regular cotton. And it tells us right here how big it is. It's 58 inches wide. It gives me information on that fabric, and if this is not what I'm interested in, I can change it. So if I want to do a canvas, it's changed it, 57 inches. So I'm going to be able to go in and change that fabric to something that I like, and then exit that preview. Now this is something I really like. I think it's going to make a great shirt, so I'm going to save it. So I'm going to save it, and I can label it. And I'm going to confirm it. I have a couple of options, so I can keep on working, and I can order it now or just come out. Click back on that, and I can play some more. There's just so much that I can do with just that one photograph. And it's always nice to see what those options are giving me on just a tiny little twist of my hand. This kaleidoscope, I could spend hours with just one picture changing different things. Go into your account, and from there I can see some of the things that I've designed. Here is one that I have. You can see that sky fabric, but it is now a border fabric. They're all a lot of fun to play with. I'm going to choose what it is that I want. And then I could choose how many meters I want. Meters are a little bit more than a yard, but it's more important that we know what this measurement is, because this fabric and this measurement go together. If I'm going to do a velveteen, see, the size has changed here. So I want to go for this size, and that way we can figure out how much we are going to need. So whatever I want, I can then add it to my cart, and I'm going to be able to check out. It is a free site for you to design fabric, and you have a one-of-a-kind fabric designed just by you. So that's all there is to designing our own fabric. And you could see how simple it was just from that one photo that I showed you. Oh, just think of the possibilities of what we could do. Now, I will be ordering some fabric, and as soon as I get it in, I'm going to be sharing it with you. So thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I do have a newsletter, all under Sew Very Easy. I hope you give that program a try. It's fun. Bye for now.